up, y'all? I just wanted to just let you know that, like, man, I don't think communication is as hard as I really thought it was. You know, you could tell everybody, you know, like, oh, I'm bothered. That's nasty. But yeah, like, you can tell someone all day, like, who has a problem, like, yeah, I feel some type of way about this. Like, okay, we'll go talk to them. But sometimes it's just not the right time to talk to somebody, and you never really, like, realize or know, like, when will be the right time for me to communicate with this person. And it seems like when you try to communicate with someone and it just keeps backfiring and y'all either wind up arguing or it just doesn't work, you know, communication becomes extremely hard. You know, I recently just went through a really tough season of just communicating. Like, yeah, you know, we talk about, you know, wholeness and healing on this channel, and, you know, I've really pressed the issue about communication. I think it's extremely important, but I don't think it's as easy. Well, it's not as hard, but it seems hard. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you know, like, I am a stickler for communication. Like, I want to communicate well, and, you know, I think communication settles so many disputes. You know, it opens up your mind to just understanding people, and you treat people differently after communicating and sharing some personal things or whatever the case is. But it gets hard. Like, you know, when you have your own thoughts in your head and that person has their own thoughts in their head, and there's a lot of assumptions and there's a lot of facts, and, you know, it just gets really hard to, you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, or you feel like you don't want to go and say the wrong thing and it move too fast. And, you know, and I've been in so many situations where I've tried to do things on my own, try to set up meetings and, you know, try to sit down and talk with somebody, and it just blew up in my face. Like, I started to just hear negativity about me. Like, bro, where did this come from? Like, I thought we was just talking about a certain situation. I thought we was talking about us, and boom, like, you just brought some whole another thing to the plate. Like, wow. Like, you know, and this was happening, like, you know, for a very long time in my life. Like, it's not new. It's been happening since I was, like, I'm almost 27 in May. And I went through something similar to this when I was about 19, you know, and then it just, like, happened again, like, two or three days ago. And, you know, I came to a realization that, like, not being able to communicate is what is it? Like, it's like a cycle. It's a stronghold, you know. Depression can cause you to really not communicate with people, and then based on what you don't communicate, you don't have any actions behind things, and you just find yourself stuck. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, you know, as I'm going through my journey of just healing and just understanding more about myself and understanding what my triggers are and what issues I have and what things I need to work on, and how my personality and characteristics have been not so healthy. You know, when you go through those situations where you see yourself staring at yourself in the face, and you make the choice to either run from you instead of confronting the negative traits about yourself, you know, and it takes communication to do that. You just add on more toxicity to yourself. You know, you add on more, you're adding on more negative vibes, you know, and you're adding on more toxic people that will come into your life because you're not choosing to change, you know, how you operate. You know, you have to change yourself first, you know, in order to really receive things, you know, that you want. You may feel, it kind of remind me of like the Karate Kid, you know, when Mr. Miyagi was having him like do the wax on wax off thing, and he's just like, what does this have to do with me trying to win a karate match. Like nothing. Like you don't see the ending of a thing, so you don't understand why you have to do this, and it's frustrating, it's irritating, because you feel like you're not making any progress. But then, you know, when those, even the smallest things get implemented, because you just submit and you change and you decide to work with whatever is being brought to you, you start to see the change, you start to see why, and then it just, like, your whole situation changes. You know, it's just crazy how life is. You know, we think we have to change people. Maybe if I talk to her to get this person, or him to get this person to just understand where I'm coming from, it'll be all better. But sometimes that's not the case. Like, sometimes it's you digging deep inside of you and changing some ways about yourself and creating that peace, you know, and still going for that, whatever it is that you want, you know, and actually submitting to what that person may or was trying to do. Now, I had a situation earlier kind of with my mom, and me and my mom are really close, you know, but I think throughout the years of me growing up, there has been a lot of disconnect there. So with my mom, is definitely a new creature, and she's changed a lot, like, since I was a kid. Like, my mom is completely not the person I know growing up, you know. So for me to accept her as who she is now, it was hard for me. It still gets hard for me to see her, you know, as she is, and her actually trying to be a parent, as far as just instructing me differently. Like, back then, my mom didn't play. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, she was low-key, like, she instructed me, but it was so, like, tough and so hard that it kind of disconnected me a lot. So it made me not want to communicate with her. Like, cause I don't got time. Like, my mom was them, I don't play, you can't fool me. I couldn't fool my mom. I would, you know, I fooled her a lot because I was really quiet, and that got me out of a lot. But, like, my mom was no fool. Like, she'll know. Like, maybe she just let it slide or something. But, like, you know, I just had a situation, and she was trying to talk to me, and I kind of brushed it off, and I was just, like, irritated and mad, and, you know, she got mad and walked off, you know. But if that was me back in the day, she'd have went upside my head, and, you know, we probably would have, it wouldn't have been good. But even then, like, you know, now it's just different that, you know, I just had to actually apologize, you know, and really just do the right thing, because I knew that was the right thing. Because, you know, even though what I'm going through is a lot mentally, you know, for me to submit myself and shut myself down to go and apologize and talk to her and just really get where she's coming from, it actually caused me to be opened and healed and express how I really was feeling, which was just me feeling overwhelmed. And that's why it wasn't her, it was really me. And I was really going in my head, like, she just doesn't get it. Like, oh, like, trying to be mad. But in reality, it wasn't really her. It was me. Like, you know, and just crazy how communication can really be hard. So I can understand why people have a hard time, you know, seeing breakthroughs in life, having a hard time in relationships and friendships, and even with God. Because I think the way we naturally do things and what we're so used to, it affects how we are with God. You know, when I had situations I was going through and it was really hard for me, I would always, like, think like God didn't love me, you didn't care about me, you know, because that's what I was used to. Like, my mom would get mad and start just going in at me. I just felt like she didn't care, like, whatever, you know. And, you know, that's what I would do to God, you know. And as I'm growing and going through other situations in life, because life does not stop, situations and trials and tribulations don't stop, you know, I had to really get to a point where, God, I know this is not you. This is the choices that people are making, and even me. But the problem is not you. And I have to make sure that I'm still intentional about our relationship, because I care about you enough to still hold on to you no matter what's going on in my life. You know, even if I can't pray as hard as I want to, even if I can't get into my word as much as I want to, or even at all, you know, just saying those small things and just making sure that you're reassuring yourself that God is still good no matter what, you know, really changes the way you communicate with him. And then when you start to do that with other people and looking at yourself, looking at, you know, just changing the situation around to work out for the best, you know, you start to see different breakthroughs happening in your life. You start to see so many things changing. You start to get deeper understanding, and it just brings joy, you know. So, man, I just want to say that I understand, like, communication is hard. Not wanting to say the wrong things, not wanting to hurt people's feelings is hard. Like, but I think when you come at it from a standpoint of understanding the other person and really denying yourself and knowing that God is still good no matter what, like, and communicating with him before you even go to them so he can make the opportunity of communication, that's when we see change. That's when things start to work out, even in both of the parties' favor, where you just start to see things like, man, like, both of you guys end up well. It's not bad, you know. So, yeah, man, I understand. I was probably the worst communicator ever. You know, I think it's had a lot to do with depression and just feeling like you don't have no value in yourself to even speak up about yourself. But, you know, I'm thankful that God is just helping me with my worth. And, you know, man, it's just crazy where I'm going and, you know, where God brought me from. So, man, I just genuinely just know that I understand, and just know that things will change. Just get out of yourself, you know, and be open to hearing and actually changing for somebody else to see things still work out for you. I guarantee you it works if you swallow your pride, apologize, and reach out in a form of trying to get to understand them and not them to understand you. I promise you, you know, you'll get the opportunity to get them to understand you, because you're actually in an opposite position of serving them instead of you feeling like they need to serve you. And that's the kingdom of God. So, man, I'm just grateful, and I just wanted to share that. I'm definitely in a place of just healing and wholeness, and I want everybody to just get on this path, you know, and stay on it. And also, you know, I'm, you know, going to edit a video that I just made about what prayer is, and we're gonna go into a series and stuff. So stay tuned. If you've never subscribed to my channel, subscribe. And I just, yeah, man, I'm just grateful for what God is going to do with all of us. You know, I just feel a shift in the atmosphere. I know God is going to just do some mind-blowing things, and I, you know, just want you to stay connected with me and really just get what God is putting on my heart, that it may be a positive seed you planted in your life to just help you grow in any area, and especially in your faith. So just subscribe below, hit the bell button so you'll know when I go and post videos. Follow me on social media. I'll try to get my links below. But yeah, so just stay tuned. I should have that video up in a couple days. So yeah, love you guys. I just wanted to say, I know communication is not easy, because I'd rather slap somebody than talk to them. That's not good though. It's not good.